Okay, the environment, the state shall promote sustainable development and public awareness of the needs to manage land, air, and water resource in balance or sustainable manners for the present and future generation. The utilization of the nature resource of Uganda shall be managed in such a way as to meet the development and environmental needs of present and future generation of Ugandans, and in particular, the state shall all possible measures to present or minimize dangers and destruction to land, air, and water resource, resulting for population of other cases. The state shall promote and implement, encourage policies that will ensure that people basic needs and those of environmental preservation are met. The state also, including local government, shall create and develop parks, resource and recreation areas and ensure the conservation of natural resources, promote regulation used of natural resources so as to struggle and protect the beneficial of Uganda. Okay. Today we are holding a topic on human rights activity and gender equality, security goals. We are to find what is human right. Today we are looking at Homosexuality Act. Is the population control number of people in a society today. We have the population of young youth who are disabled because of human rights abuse, and they were violated their rights, and we were intimidated, and they were made slaves trade. The reason why failures they are persisting to amend our constitution rights, and that's one of the reasons, and their tactics which they are using to oppress the young population, the youth, so that they should not come up with the idea, and they have released, if the youth join hands together, they will fail them and take power from them. So I request all youth in my country to wake up and see, also start seeing what is behind the curtain of the word homosexuality. The meaning and the behind it, there are words used in methodological and technicalities, and we are to make a research to find the truth and reality of the fundamental right and dignity of our Constitution. What is its role, and what is Bolbogi Wing? Bolbogi Wing, the Spirit of Lord, judge, a great joy with good talent, treated words, without discrimination. I believe that all of us, we need first accept and believe on what we are going to do, whether it's good to favor us, we must follow, or we should reject. If someone cannot favor you, you'd rather say no and take action in order to see how you can favor your family. This is my ambition, to show the reality within my community. I have observed and I've looked around that the number of youth really are suffering innocent, and it's because of negligence of administrative leadership. The parties which has really failed to follow the rules of our Constitution Act. It's a time to acquit and dismiss such failures within our sectors or institutes. The government must contain people who are enlightened, who have calling and revelation, and they must be trained in order to show them what is the right thing to be done in our community. I stood on my feet as strongest weapon and Constitution instrument volume, the voice for all citizens, accordingly what has been happening in my country. I believe, according the knowledge and the wisdom I have received from the Almighty Spirit, I need to utilize it in my community. And mostly what I like, it is what I desire for my community. Today, We are to show and unlight our fellow friends, children in this generation today are to follow the right rule of our culture, tradition, norms. Today, I've seen number of inmates are suffering in prison. And since I've come up, I'm to show my quality service to be established accordingly what I discovered. All inmates should be released out of prison soon as possible, according what was established to me. All facts was published since the revelation and calling came upon me. This was the meaning of the message. When I saw a moon and star shining in the world, I heard a loud voice saying, Allahu Akbar. The last voice, divine and salvation. A young baby of 3 years old dropped out of the sky and fell down. The baby came with 3 things. He had hold a small book with a title, Judicial Service Commission. He had hold a certificate grey in color with a title, St. Joseph, Prison of War Exhausted. And also he had hold a key. When I made a research at what was the meaning of all those messages, I got the answer. And it is me to stand on my feet, and I do this accordingly what was promised. I believe that number of people hate the truth and reality are because they are full of incompetence and negligence of administration. They were corrupt. They had their own targets. Okay, what should we do in order to favor those who are suffering today? Basically, I take this glad opportunity to appreciate the management of Daily Monitor for publishing Kemi's Manager's Torture on 4th August 2016. In page 15, truly I deserved to excite the new generation. See attached copy, Mark Twain. The alleged complaint on 28th November 2016, while I was a convict, number 234/15 at Lugore Prison Farm, located in Gulu, in Patiko sub-county, in Gulu district. I was called by the deputy OC in charge, Kaima Yunus, ASP, who inquired from me if I wanted to apply against the sentence. that as I was explaining to him, the ASP started to kick me on abdomen, and I fell down. Also, then he ordered about 10 inmates and prison warden to tie me on the tree with all my legs wrapped around it. That the ASP beat me with a baton on the buttocks until it broke. And he instructed the inmates to press my gentle head on the tree trunk, and as a result, I became too weak and I was in a lot of pain. And the question goes to you: how do you feel if you have your child and such scenario occurred on him? How do you feel if someone made an order you to be tied with a rope and they tied your testicle on the tree? This happened to me, of which what was their intention? They intended to kill me. But my Father, the Almighty, rescued me out of this. So today, I'm to give the true testimony to universe. Let everyone get to understand. I discovered that number of people have been mistreated badly, have been tortured indiscriminately, and they had no anyone who can favor or can fight for them. Inmates are lacking someone who can help them, and I stood on my feet to help. Also, I discovered that number of inmates, once they come out of the jail, they became desperate, of which they need help. And this is one of the biggest problems, whereby once someone comes out of prison, he lands on this world, he finds that there is nothing he had left. So he needs to start a new life, of which he may find that the family and the other friends, relatives, they have destroyed each and everything, of which he needs to find a way of fitting in society and recovering each and everything he had lost. So this, it may force someone, if he's not really kind, or if he had not repented, it may force him to commit a crime, of which we need, before they meet their family and the community, they need first have a good counseling for some good period of time, then they should be set free. The reason why I'm saying this, I've ever witnessed this. While I was in prison, we had a story amongst ourselves. We could talk, interact a lot of things. But you find someone who still have really hunger, who felt control his emotion. And some time back, you find that a number of them, they are being jailed innocently. A witness came They brought evidence. It has really pinned that person and he was jailed because they used money to see how they can build a sentence against such offender. Then at the end of the day, you may end up being convicted. But the day you are going to be released, no anyone, either your parents, either a complainant, will not know your date. You have to be released. Now, it came a problem. You may come out when you have not repented, you have not forgiven your friends. Then once you fall on this ground, you start now stressing for that person. And once you fall on that person, at the end of the day, you may end up committing crime. So this is the biggest problem of which we need to solve today. Also, have you ever witnessed some of scenario that there are those ones who have remained with few days to be released, then later on they collide with others who are still inside because they had some grudge with their complainant, with other relatives. Then it became a chance to use one of the fellow inmates who is going to be released and sent him that go and play for me this mission. And it may not be a good mission. This I've ever witnessed it. And then when someone comes out, he start now stressing for such person. And then later what happened? What will happen? So there are a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. We need to really find the solution, how we can solve such problems. Also, I think it's better in case of anything goes wrong in between two people. I know all of us, there's a non-person who is 100% perfect, but still we move into mistakes, and mistakes are human. But we need to find a way, how should we smart and solve such complaints. So it's not good to enforce yourself that you are going to imprison such person or what, but it's good to sit down and agree, you find a solution or a way of solving such matters. So you should remain as a family, friends, you interact. Well, you don't have a bitter heart or third heart to your fellow colleagues. Because you may like to put someone in prison, yes, but the day will be released, you may never know. And once he's released, again, he may end up becoming a problem to you and your family. I'm telling you all these things out of my experience, what I've experienced. On my side, I didn't really had such kind of heart, only that really I had repented and I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior and the healer. Later on, I had to kneel down and I prayed to the Almighty and forgive each and everyone who had a problem with me. Also, I myself had first forgive those people. And then what happened? I had to get counseling. I had to get a counseling through Almighty. And I accept. I had opened my ears, had to listen critically. Then later I achieved a good goals. I decided to stand on my feet. What should I go with? Since I received a calling and revelation, I came to define myself. What am I supposed to be? And what am I supposed to do in this position? And what is my position? When I discovered all those, I said, yes, it's now a time to come out with a true testimony and my mission and vision. I think it's better if someone had a good idea to come with it within the community and utilize it to others. Let them get to understand and get to know. I remind you, giving you a little bit of a testimony, what I discovered, that families today, they have become a biggest problem within the nation. People are fighting for lands, of which each and everything which is happening in between families, I think all those property are not for any individual person. But you find someone, because of being selfish, he builds a grudge and they become an enemy in between themselves, as friends, as family. So create allegation to your fellow brother. At the end of the day, you find that the other one was dumped in prison, either was killed, so that for you should remain with wealth. But whatever thing, all of you, if you are in this category doing such, remember that you are doing nothing. You may plan to do such, but remember, ask yourself, where are you going? Today, if you look at all the nations, problems of the brutalities, war, within region and region, at the end of the day, you may ask yourself, what is the cause of all this brutality? War. So there are those who are full of intimidating others and predicting future of people, because they have discovered something which is good in your land or in your area or in your country, and they are to play their role or their tactics to see the way how they can steal and grab such property. This is one of their tactics to create a war amongst the community. At the same time, they come up that we are rescuing them out of the war. Then people remains happy, saying that, yeah, this good person has really rescued us. But they fail to discover that is the same person who is doing such. So today we have investigated a lot and we have discovered a lot, but it is a time. Each and every human being has a head, and your head has what we call a capacity level. I think all of us, we have a different gauge of the capacity, of which each and everyone should find the solution and the way of of rescuing his family. But if you rescue your family, it doesn't mean that you should put hatred to others. No. I stood on my feet here today to unite all of you and rescue those who are in trouble and those who didn't know what to do, because it shows that all of them, they're in trouble. But most of people think that if they have money, they have wealth, they see that all this world is theirs. They think that they are okay. That's a lie. And I think most of people who are really in bondage, those who are in really in deep prison, they are those ones who pretend that they're in service, doing the right things, becoming selfish, so over there, see your fellow friends what they are doing, advise them, and you who are going wrong, accept the advice. I don't think that it's you who knew each and everything, who knows what to do than others. There are those who sat and they are quiet and they can do and they can perform a better service than you. Either you hold your degrees, masters, doctorates, diplomas, those are your papers, are your qualifications. But what we need, it is your thinking and your good service within the community without racism and tribalism. And once you involve in such putting racism and tribalism amongst the community, again at the end of the day, you may end up finding yourself that you have done nothing. I wonder, I may say that you people, sorry, all of you. I say it again, sorry for what has really gone wrong on your side. I know some of you don't want to kneel down to plead from God that sorry. And you are seeing that you are being oppressed. But remember, I'm here to represent you and to say sorry. A reason why that if you discover the truth and you fail to show people, still you sat on truth, you intimidate other people, decided to start amending acts day and night, year to year, to find a solution or a way of jailing others, turning them to be slave trades, while your families are are okay, getting survived. But the children of others, they're on the street suffering. Have you ever asked yourself what caused someone really to steal? Today, if I look around, there are a number of people in jail. You find that they left children. Because I had one of my colleagues who was my best friend. By then I was living with him in Lira. And the guy was arrested with his wife, but he left children in the house. And they didn't have anyone to help them. They had to go on the street. Later on, the life became difficult to them. They started now stealing, and they were killed. So they didn't steal on their concern, or they didn't want it, but they were lacking support. And if their parents were to be there, they couldn't involved in such characters. But what caused them really still, they were in need of something. Now today we look around at our country, region and region. In every community you may find there are a lot of people suffering on the street and they need help. How should we help such people? Are you who are there in the system, you know what to do, but still you became selfish. You didn't bother, you didn't think twice to value the rights of others. So sometimes people follow things which are not important, and people are full of predicting the future of the universe by making their dramas, comedies, lying others. Today, if you take a kind of snaps or video where people are doing fake things, like this issue of homosexuality, and yet you paid them money, you agreed with such people, then you air the video out, and when people see such action, they think that it's true, this thing happening, but they don't know what's behind the curtain. So there are those who are doing things are really to confuse Ugandans. But still, we Ugandans, all of us, we are not stupid as such. Some of us, we think and we take time to think before we do. But because we have some of people who doesn't think and they want immediately things, because they have heard that we are going to get funds, and they just want to get funds for free so that they do their own things, but they are not thinking and valuing other people's lives. This is wrong. I stood here, I know what to do. I was not forced. It's just out of my bottom of heart to do this after I realized, or after I discovered the fundamental right and dignity of our Constitution and the higher person individual. Thanks all of you. All viewers, you are free to join and see. Also do what you're supposed to do. And no matter those who are full of intimidation, if they don't want to meet me, I don't care, but still I will remain as a human being with a human settlement.